Imagine someone coming up to you in your own country and rapidly speaking a foreign language at you. Even if you understand that language, you might be disinclined to actually speak back with them. It's Sonnie coming at you from Japan. Whenever Joe and I travel to a foreign country, we always like to learn a few key phrases in the local language. In my opinion, it's polite, helps to show respect for the locals and their country, and really helps to have an overall more enjoyable travel experience. And don't forget to comment below with your key basic phrases that you go to when you travel abroad. Alright, let's jump right into my basic list of the best key phrases to learn when you're traveling to a new country. Number 1, hello and goodbye. I hope this one doesn't come as too much of a surprise to you and is maybe a little bit self-explanatory. One of my favorite greetings was Ahoj in the Czech Republic. It always kind of made me feel like a sailor or a pirate, and so it was really easy to remember and kind of fun to say. Just be cautious to not sound too good. I really didn't think that this would be a problem, but apparently my Greek accent is a little bit too good when I say hello. 5 or 6 times native Greek people would hear me say hello in Greek and then respond in rapid fire Greek. And luckily, my completely blank and shocked face would clue them in that I didn't understand what they were saying, but then they explained to me that they thought that I was either a local or fluent or something because that's apparently how good my accent was. I'm not going to try to mimic it right now because I'll probably fail miserably. Sorry. Number 2. Excuse me. This one is obviously a little bit different than hello and usually works better in more professional circumstances. When you're the first one to initiate contact with a server, salesperson, or if you're just looking to ask for directions, excuse me is a really good one to know. Hopefully this is the same phrase as when you're trying to say excuse me as you move past someone, but be cautious because in some languages it is a bit different. In Italian, mi scusi is asking excuse me to get someone's attention. But if you are trying to move past someone and they're maybe in your way, then you would want to say permesso. Number 3, thank you. This is the last phrase that is purely about good manners. Be a nice, polite tourist and represent your country well by using them. Please, especially if you're American. Because the fact of the matter is, if you're behaving like a jerk tourist, your behavior can affect other tourists' future experiences. When you're at a restaurant in a foreign country, you really don't need to speak the language in order to just hold up the menu, point to the item, and hold up the number of fingers to show how many of that item you want. But adding a thank you in their local language really makes a big difference and goes far. Number 4. Can I get the bill? This phrase is a little bit more difficult to convey just through maybe hand gestures or something if you don't know the local language. But because it's a little bit longer, I recommend either writing it down or keep it in your phone or something like that so that you can reference it. When Joe and I were in Budapest, for example, we would eat our meal and then take out our little notebook that had all of our notes for how much we spent, and we would practice like 3 or 4 times of how to say, can I get the bill? Can I get the bill? We would call them over with a little excuse me and then say, can I get the bill in their language? And it worked out great. Number 5, do you speak English? Or do you speak insert native language here? For any more complicated interactions with a local, you really do need to find somebody that does speak your language. But I'd personally never recommend asking someone if they speak English in English. I really do think it goes really far and shows so much respect if you just say in their language, do you speak English? And once again, if you can't remember the entire thing, just learn English in their language. If they are looking at you and you're saying it, you're like, huh? They'll understand what you mean, so it's not that hard. They'll so appreciate your effort, and more than likely, even if they aren't fluent in English, they'll try to meet you in the middle. And then as a last resort, you can use Google Translate or something to try to help each other out. And just a little tip, before you go to another country, Google Translate gives you the option of downloading that language offline. That way you're not using your data in a foreign country, but you can still use the translator app. It's a lifesaver. And now I want to hear from you. Do you have any phrases that I missed or any key phrases that you found really came in handy while you were traveling? Do you have any funny or interesting stories where you're trying to speak to a local and you have to look like a mime or something like that? Because I know I do. When Joe and I were in Italy, for example, there was a woman walking with this really cute dog, and the dog was completely soaking wet. We were in Venice, she didn't speak any English, so we were trying to use our very minimal Italian and a lot of hand gestures to ask what happened to her dog. And she ended up going on this little mini rant in Italian that we're standing there trying to understand what she's saying. And then in the end, she just looks at us and goes, "Canale." And we're like, oh, he went swimming in the canal. And we all kind of laughed and we pet the dog and then we said goodbye. And yeah, it was really cute. Well, I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit that like button. It really helps out my channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. And if you've already subscribed, please hit the little bell icon next to the subscription box so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. It's usually Sundays if you don't feel like hitting the little bell icon. Sunday morning, but sometimes I throw in a couple extra, so yeah, bell icon's cool. Thanks. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. You wanna say? You wanna say hi? You wanna say hi and bye? Always like to learn a few key phrases. Sorry, the window's open.
Ain't you pretty? Did you just hop out of the litter box and get litter everywhere? Yeah? Who has the prettiest eyes? Who has the prettiest 2 different color eyes?